In this video, we will explore the issue of debt bandage. First, we'll go on its definition. Next, we will examine the problem in depth, focusing on its disproportionate impact on women. We will then analyze which feminist school of thought best explains this issue, followed by an overview of the specific rights and laws that debt bandage violates. Finally, we will discuss the solutions and ways to address this pressing human rights concern. Now let's begin by understanding what debt bandage is. Debt bandage, also known as bonded labor, is common in modern slavery, where individuals are forced to work under conditions of exploitation to pay off a debt. It may occur when people who are usually from the poor and marginalized communities borrow from employers or labor recruiters, receiving loans or wages in advance to pay off the debt. However, they end up falling into a debt trap due to their exploitative terms, deception, or manipulation, with the value of their work surpassing their original debt. Now let us know the impact of debt bandage on women. First, economic exploitation and poverty. Women in debt bandage earn little to nothing, keeping them trapped in poverty. Deceptive loans and high interest rates make repayment nearly impossible, preventing financial independence. Second, gender-based violence and abuse. Many face physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Employers use threats and violence to maintain control, while fear and social stigma stop them from seeking help. Next is health and well being risks. Poor conditions cause malnutrition, exhaustion, and illness. Without healthcare access, they suffer long term physical and mental health issues. Fourth, barriers to education. Forced into labor young, many miss schooling, limiting future opportunities and reinforcing gender inequality. And lastly, social marginalization and disempowerment. Lacking rights and autonomy, women remain excluded from decision making, sustaining economic dependence and oppression. Now, which school of thought on feminism best explains the issue? The answer is postmodern or anti-essentialist feminism. This school of thought on feminism is particularly relevant to understanding debt bandage because it challenges the idea that gender is the sole or primary factor in women's oppression. Instead, this theoretical approach recognizes that multiple intersecting factors such as class, race, age, education, migration status, and historical inequalities shape the experiences of women trapped in debt bandage. Debt bandage disproportionately affects women from poor and marginalized communities, particularly indigenous groups, migrant workers, and those with limited education. These women are often coerced into exploitative labor, not just because of their gender, but also due to systemic economic inequalities, cultural norms, and historical patterns of discrimination. Postmodern feminism emphasizes that their oppression cannot be addressed solely through gender focused legal reforms, but requires an intersectional approach that considers all these contributing factors.
What rights are violated? Right to freedom and liberty. They are often forced to work for long hours under extremely poor conditions to repay debts, with no possibility of escape or independence. Right to work under fair and equal conditions. They are working in unsafe environments with little to no compensation or under exploited conditions. Right to health and safety. They are trapped in debt bondage and face health risks from grueling labor, lack of healthcare access, and poor working conditions. Right to protection from violence. They experience physical and sexual violence from their employers or traffickers as a means of control. What laws on women are violated? Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or the UDHR. International Labor Organization Conventions, or the ILO. Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or the CEDAW.
How is this issue resolved? First, through legal measures. Republic Act 9208 criminalizes debt bondage. Labor Code ensures fair wages. Barangay Justice System settles cases. Second, law enforcement. Philippine National Police and the National Bureau of Investigation conduct rescues. Department of Labor and Employment and the Commission on Human Rights investigate cases. And lastly, victim support. Department of Social Welfare and Development provides shelters and aid. Non-government organizations offer legal and recovery support.